This episode is brought to you by Essentia. A better you starts with better hydration. Essentia is on a mission to inspire people to do what matters most. Their proprietary ionization process transforms water from any source into ionized alkaline water, providing water that's 99.9% pure with a pH of 9.5 or higher. Essentia overachieving H2O, the #1 ionized alkaline water. Shop now.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for All-Star Season 8, Episode 12, titled Grand Finale. My name is Joe Betance, and I am joined, as always, by one garrulous co-host from the podcast Pod is my co-pilot. Please say...
What the fuck are you doing? That's not even whipped cream.
I'll get you a towel, babe.
to Mr. Taylor, the Latte Boy. Hello, Taylor, the Latte Boy.
Our last show, Joey B.
Ever. I know, it's so sad.
Stop saying that.
We talked about this on Just Between Us Girls about Taylor retiring. Well, semi-retirement, becoming a third chair here at Afterthought Media.
I'll be like when Joy Behar left The View and then they brought her back. That's kind of who I am. I'm the Joy Behar of Afterthought Media.
How long was she gone for?
Like 4 or 5 years. I just finished Ladies Who Punch, the book about The View, which anybody who likes to read,
anyone likes to read.
Anybody who likes to just read, like, it's a good summer reading book because it takes about 3 brain cells to actually read it. But I forgot all of the people that were hosts on that show, like after various people left stuff. And I mean, it does no favors to Rosie O'Donnell. This book.
Oh, she doesn't come off well?
No, but she was interviewed all the way through it. But I think nobody liked working with her. She was a nightmare to work with.
Same thing with this. I don't know if you ever read the one about Saturday Night Live. It's the same thing with Chevy Chase on there.
Yeah. So
she was a nightmare?
She was a nightmare. And apparently Whoopi Goldberg isn't much better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Holy shit. But this isn't just coming from the conservative. It's not just, the blonde girl from Survivor and so on that.
Everybody that has ever been a host on The View was willing to be interviewed except for 2 people, Whoopi Goldberg and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. But she interviewed like Barbara Walters. The book came out in 2019. But apparently she had interviewed people for 3 or 4 years before. And like some people she had to, like Rosie O'Donnell, apparently she had to like really kind of work on her to get, I say her, it's actually, I thought it was a woman, but it actually was a man who wrote the book. But I have a feeling in this case, she had to work really hard on Rosie O'Donnell.
Who wrote it? Is it Bill Carter? Who wrote it?
No. I can't, I don't have that information available.
Oh, well, sorry everyone listening that Taylor didn't have that information, but
it's a good book.
Yeah. Okay. So go look at the book of I can't wait till the RuPaul's Drag Race comes out. The one about RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, that'll be an awesome book.
They did an official one, but those queens all want to come on All Star, so they're not saying shit.
No.
You need the unauthorized one.
Yeah. Once World of Wonder finally lets that horse die, then you'll hear everybody. They'll start.
Yeah. But speaking of, you're going to want to go to this patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia and sign up for this. I'm going to tell you, it has been quite the week. And even a lot of Patreon people don't know about this, but we started a new show called Happy Hour, where every couple of weeks, Lori and I are going to get together. This is only for the exclusive tier and the expensive tier. We're going to get together and just shoot the shit. And any Afterthought host is welcome to come on. They can come on whenever they want, leave whenever they want. It's a happy hour. It's like an open house. And the only permanent people are me and Lori. Taylor said he wouldn't come on. That's why I'm firing him.
No, I said I wouldn't come on last night because I was working. I even sent you a picture of me from my office so that you knew I was not lying.
And so this Lori, she made some... So I'll just say it now because not everyone's going to get it. Lori went on this screed about how she told off these people at this car wash, and that it's ridiculous because they lost her special seat cushion that she has, right? And that she had tipped them $30. And she asked for her tip back, and they said they couldn't give her back. And so then she called her credit card company to reverse the charges on the car wash and stuff like that. But they convinced her not to. So she's like, I'm gonna go down to this car. I'm gonna call them, and because they said call us tomorrow. And I go, I know they didn't find it. Someone stole it. The person took it, my $30 and this seat cushion. And I'm gonna call, but they said to call them out. Call them on the air. And she goes, okay. And she calls them on the air. And she goes, hi, this is Lori Roggenkamp. And you guys lost my seat cushion. And you guys said to call, so I'm going to call. And they're like, yeah, we have it. And she goes, what? I'm like, yeah, we have it. Yeah, come pick it up. And she's like, okay. Right? Her fucking tune changed so fast. So if you want to hear that, you're going to want to join at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Join at the exclusive or expensive tier. You don't have to hear that. But by the way, we release content all the time. Oh, by the way, I did this announcement last week about that. Remember?
Yeah.
3 or 4 people wrote to me. They're like, I've been a patron and I haven't gotten any content. I just wanted to support you. I go, no, there's a ton of, I'm not lying. We release shows almost every day. And so I helped them get their content. So once again, if you in the past supported us and never got content, or if you're supporting us now and not getting content, that is not supposed to happen. Hit me up at Betance at afterthought.media and we will take care of it. But for now, this week, Jimbo and Candy go head-to-head in a final battle for the crown. Meanwhile, the remaining girls stick around to find out which one of them will be crowned queen of the Fame Games. In the end, Lala Ree is the one named the queen of the Fame Games, while Jimbo is crowned the winner of All-Stars Season 8 and is inducted into the Drag Race Hall of Fame. Taylor, the Latte Boy, for the last time ever, what did you think of that final lip sync, and did the right person win the crown?
Yes, the right person won the crown. And I mean, I realized halfway through the show, this episode, we're going to have to watch a lip sync between the two contestants that we complain the most about as far as their lip syncs go. But I thought that Jimbo's lip sync was actually pretty good for the most part. It was fun to watch. It was ridiculous, but I think that's Jimbo's, meat and potatoes. The only thing that I kept thinking all the way through with Candy's is Candy looked defeated. Candy knew going in she wasn't going to win. That's the look that she seemed to have, of where she almost like didn't want to look at anybody. So it was either fear or surrender that the crown was going to Jimbo.
So, yes, obviously the right person won the crown. Well, it's obvious. To me, it's obvious,
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this lip sync. I've actually been waiting for this lip sync for a few weeks. Because a few weeks ago, it could be more than longer, I don't remember when, some point in the past, this Candy Muse was all over Twitter, all over social media, pretty much signaling that she didn't think things were going to go her way. And that the producers had chosen a song that was geared to favor Jimbo and not her.
Okay.
So I was I was expecting it to be like is it Malambo number 2 or something, that the one that Jinx did in season 5?
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, this song is completely in the Drag Race wheelhouse. It's a Sylvester song. It's not crazy. And I'm even going to say Candy didn't do a bad job.
It's a little crazy. It's a fun disco song, but I mean But
what I'm saying though is it's not something that a drag queen would find super weird to do. And I saying, agree. If anything, it made the song fair, because any other song would be unfair to Jimbo and favor Candy.
Right.
This is a song that they could both do an interpretation. I'm going to say Candy didn't do a bad job.
No.
Candy she had a different interpretation of the song than Jimbo, but she did a good job. It's just they liked Jimbo's interpretation better. I don't think that this song, if anything, they chose a song that was more fair.
Yeah.
But the lip sync was fun to watch, and it was a fun song, and we liked it. All right. After the last episode, all the remaining contestants walked back into the workroom. James and Lala revel in their victory, and later the cast heaps praise on Jimbo and Candy Muse. Later, as the cast de-drags, they engage in foolishness. The next day, all of the remaining queens walk back into the workroom. Lala recites the dirty Spanish that Monica taught her. Candy and Jimbo play a trick on the girls. Naisha throws some serious shade at James. The foolishness, though, is interrupted by RuPaul as she enters the workroom to announce the final Maxi Challenge. The final 2 queens will perform an original solo number. And then we're going to do one more thing here because there's not much to talk about. For this season's Tic Tac Chit Chat, Jimbo reveals details about her tumultuous childhood, while Candy Muse talks about her overall strategy in the game. A lot to discuss in theory, but really not that much to discuss. We'll take it piece by piece. After the last episode, they walk in. They're just keen before they de-drag. Did you have any thoughts here?
I thought this, and this kind of speaks to a lot of the episode, is I like the idea of the entire cast being involved in some way in the entire episode.
Yes.
You know, I think that had it just been Jimbo and Candy, it would have been torturous. If it was just the 2 of them standing there for the mini challenge and all of that, the maxi challenge, all of that sort of stuff. And I guess the award for worst actress, however, seems to go to Kahana.
Oh,
like
really?
Where she did the thing where she was like, congratulations, where she did this weird thing in the beginning where she was congratulating Lala and why can't I suddenly remember anybody's names? James. And she did that like a couple of other things like later on.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they were all getting ready for the final day of where she was like, I'm going to get that crown. But it was very Brita Filter, girls, I had a dream last night. I dreamt I won, RuPaul's Drag Race. It was cringy. It was a little cringy. I noticed. Do you have any thoughts about any of that first?
The only thing I would say is we have to remember that it hasn't been that long. So there still might be a sting with Kahana. Maybe it's been like a week or 2, but like it's not that long. So maybe she's still stinging from it. I don't know. That's my only thought.
Maybe. I don't know. It's what were the curse words that Lala was saying? Do you know any of the curse words?
It's funny that you say that. She kind of mumbled it and I didn't hear it. I didn't care enough to go back and hear it.
Okay.
I should go back and listen, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll be on.
Well, since we'll talk about on Drag Race Mexico.
Okay. I found it interesting when Rue said what the challenge was going to be, that it was songs prepared for you by Leland. That it wasn't where they were giving them a chance to write their own lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is? I have a theory, but
I don't know. What is your theory?
My theory would be that they would have to give them writing credits, and this way they don't get extra money for performing the songs.
But they've written their own lyrics before.
Right, but maybe that's something where they're realizing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the queens do get writers, get a cut of every song that's downloaded or whatever. I don't know, but that was the first thing that went through my head, which I could be completely off.
I don't know. My guess would be it's a workflow thing. That they find out who the final 2 queens are, and Leland has basically his own maxi challenge where he has, you have 48 hours now to write, record, and edit a song. And so it's just, they just don't have time for the foolishness of the girls writing the lyrics and recording it and stuff like that. They have to get it done very, very quickly.
That's adorable that you think that he only had 48 hours. He had an entire season because they told him at the end, they told him at the beginning of the season, these are the 2 that are going to be in the top 2. You've got this much time to write it.
The Candy song could have been for anybody. There wasn't anything specific to her. He could have written that a long time ago. But the Jimbo one seemed to be specifically for her, or maybe an existing song that he rewrote lyrics for. Because I have thoughts on that. But yeah. Did you have any other thoughts on this opening thing?
Just the tic-tac.
Oh, you went to the next day with RuPaul's announcement.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, we can go there too. Did you see Candy's nipples in that shirt? They were like fried eggs.
Yes, this isn't the first time we've been subjected to Candy's nipples.
Oh, it was very disturbing. Okay, let's talk about this moment though. We're out of fucking nowhere, and I have 2 things to say about this. Let me address sort of the more objective one first. this stupid bitch, Naysha Lopez, comes for James Mansfield, right?
Yes.
But before we even get to the content of what she says, she opens it. She's like, James, no tea, no shade. How is this person, an experienced drag queen, saying no tea, no shade? Now, maybe I'm sure Robert or Dutch McGee or some other afterthought will correct me that Naysha's quoting somebody. I would argue not. I don't think Naysha's that clever to quote Drag Race.
Okay.
Because it's almost like someone who says, I could care less, which makes no sense because it's I could not care less, meaning you care so little, it's impossible for you to care any less.
Right.
You know? When you say I could care less, you're saying that means you care enough to care even less. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So no tea, no shade. They're saying it because of the parallelism. It's two no's in a row. But that makes no sense. Correctly, it would be all tea, no shade. Meaning, I'm just giving you the truth. I am not trying to be shady. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just giving you the truth as I see it.
Right.
That makes it all tea, no shade, James. You shouldn't have won kind of thing, right? Not
Right.
trying to be a bitch to you. I'm just telling you, right? But no tea, no shade makes no sense, and I wanted to call that out. But let's go to the next thing. Why the fuck would you just bring that up out of fucking nowhere?
Yes, I did mean to bring that up.
No, you
as far
didn't. You're fired. You're just your last season.
Bye.
Later. Lori Rockenkamp, everybody.
I wondered that too. Like that felt when we've had a season in which there has been, with the exception of the big fight with Heidi, like very little conflict. To bring that up at the end when this is clearly a celebration. We all got done celebrating the night before. To bring up a comment like that felt very not out of place for Naysha, but out of place for the show to kind of highlight that, even though it's clear why they said that later on it gets kind of brought back up in a great way. But it was a very weird moment. Like, what are you trying to accomplish at that point?
Yeah, it wasn't that they weren't even talking. They were just giving James her flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, does Naysha think that Naysha thinks she should have won?
Yes, I'm sure that Naysha thinks that she should have won.
Yeah. No offense to you, James. There were better acts than yours.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
maybe, but that wasn't yours, Naysha.
Right. It's not Naysha's Drag Race.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I've never liked this Naysha Lopez. Go back to whatever fucking season she was. I never liked her. She's a problem.
Season 8. Isn't she season 8?
I don't know what season she's on. I just don't like her. Go back, bitches, is what I say to her. You know what someone told me about this pathetic Naysha Lopez?
Okay. What?
Do you know she hosts Roscoe's? And I thought she was from Chicago. No, she lives in LA. She flies to Chicago every weekend to host a stupid chicken shit gig. Thank you. All right, let's talk about those tic tac chit chat. That's what it is, tic tac chit chats. Do you have any thoughts on them? I just put them both together, Jimbo and Candy. They're separated by an event, but I just put them together. Like Jimbo's tic tac lunch. I'm just gonna call it tic tac lunch, easier. Candy's. What? Any thoughts here?
I thought that. Actually, you go first. You always ask me, and then I say something, and then you respond. So I want you to go first, please. What did you think of them?
Well, I think, this Jimbo, I was very proud of him, okay? Because I feel early Jimbo. No, I didn't watch his Canada season, okay? So I don't really know.
Why didn't you watch Canada?
I don't like this Brooklyn Heights. I won't watch anything with Brooklyn Heights on it. I don't like her.
All right, so we've talked about Naysha.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather watch Naysha. I would if Naysha watched Canada, I'd be like, ugh, but I'd watch it. I won't even watch a fucking thing. If this Brooklyn Heights was on fire, I wouldn't even watch her, let alone help her.
Wow. So we've talked about Naysha. We've talked about Brooklyn. Yeah. I have to get the other ones in before the end of the episode.
Yeah, it was your last one. I know. Todrick, Soju.
Oh, I always forget about Soju. There's
one that I said the other day no one ever brings up. I don't like them either. Yeah. But this is what I like here, is that this Jimbo has adapted. Jimbo has got, we've seen, we're always talking about a narrative arc in the season. Jimbo's had an arc over her career in Drag Race.
Yeah.
In that she had performed and she was successful in Canada, but went home with kind of a bitter Betty, wasn't she, when she left? Wasn't there some sort of shit stir thing she did?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't watch Canada.
Yeah.
And then on UK versus the World, she was an agent of chaos.
Right.
And then now on this one, she was like, oh, okay, I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm growing. And she came on here and she had the gravitas to be the winner of All-Star Season 8. She acted like a winner and it paid off. So we got to see this. And so she, when she was early on in the show, she hadn't figured out the politics of the show. So she took the feedback and now she's figured out those politics. Thank you. Candy Muse was stupid. I didn't have anything to say about her.
Well, Candy Muse was playing it. I feel like Jimbo gave Rue everything she needed, as far as she needed the tragic backstory. She needed the Hallmark greeting card thing of, spread joy, that kind of thing. But she did it in a way that was very controlled. Like, I was thinking, like, is Jimbo going to cry? Because these Tic Tac lunches are really, are for, to pull out drama. And she did talk about some really traumatic stuff with her parents, whereas I feel Candy thought, I have to give her the old school of where I sit here and I cry about my life and I cry about things, that sort of stuff. And then I make a thing of, I really want this so bad. This is all I've ever wanted, that kind of thing. Gave her kind of the old school Tic Tac lunch, which I don't like as much. So I actually thought Jimbo's was really well done of the two of them.
Well, Candy didn't share anything that we saw. Maybe they didn't put it, but she didn't. All she shared was that she had a strategy for going in and blah, 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 blah. And then RuPaul said, I'm your biggest fan. I'm like, this RuPaul, I know this is a weird thing to say on the RuPaul's Drag Race recap show. She has terrible taste in drag queens then. Because I don't know what, she's Candy's biggest fan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know who she's watching. But I learned no new information about this Candy Muse. Nothing. Anyway. Okay, so we finished with Candy. We finished with, what's her nuts? Jimbo. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of the episode.
On June 14th, your favorite emotions are back on the big screen in Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
It's time to greet your Team Riley! It's anger!
Let me at him!
Fear!
Safety checklist is complete!
Disgust! Ew, ew! Sadness is in the house! Oh, no. Hello, I'm anxiety. I'm one of Riley's new emotions.
Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
There's a part 2? We're going!
Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Only in theaters June 14th. Get tickets now.
Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses help you make the most out of every moment. Hey Meta, text Naeem. Got us a table. This spot looks legit. Hey Meta, look and translate this for me.
It says traditional lime soup with chicken.
Hey Meta, take a photo. Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses. Learn, connect, and capture content hands-free, so you can stay in the moment. Iconic style meets cutting-edge technology with Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses.
Since 1979, TireRack.com has been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. They sell only the best, like the full line of Yokohama tires. Test results, ratings, and reviews are there to assist. Or try the Tire Decision Guide to get a personalized tire recommendation. Tires ship fast and free to you or to one of over 10,000 recommended installers. In many areas, they offer mobile tire installation. Shop Yokohama tires at TireRack.com.
We are back in the workroom. While the top two queens met with Rue and Michelle, the remaining contestants answered questions and won prizes that they pulled from RuPaul's big furry pink box. Back on the main stage, the remaining queens watched as Miguel Zarate taught Candy and Jimbo the steps for their solo performances, and it's elimination day, and the girls get ready for the main stage. Darian fools around with Candy and Jimbo. James is so happy that she won at least one challenge this season. Kasha revels in the praise for her first sober Drag Race season, and the girls wax nostalgic for what has happened this season. Taylor, once again, on paper a lot has happened, but IRL not so much. Oh, well, actually, that big furry pink box segment. What did you think of that?
That was a great thing that I very much enjoyed that because there was no stakes to it. That it was just a silly cotton candy segment that was fun. The girls were clearly having fun because they were all winning random stuff. The callback to the no tea, no shade that James got to say to Naisha was very funny. And Naisha appreciated it too. So that was it was just a fun, like maybe 5 minutes or whatever. That kind of was a palate cleanser from other seasons in which it's just the top three kind of wandering around staring at each other going, what was your favorite thing about me? What was your favorite thing about me? So I liked it a lot. What about you?
Yeah, it was a good callback to the old school Untucked, and that was really fun. They should probably do old school Untucked for these All-Star seasons, kind of bring that back for that. Yeah, I thought it was a very clever idea, and if anything, it gives these queens, especially the ones who were out early, like Monica Beverly Hills, more screen time. And again, I said this last week, now that everything was said and done, Monica Beverly Hills seems so much more relaxed and so much more fun, and thus more likable. I found her really like charming and everything like that when she was just so much more relaxed. By the way, I talked about this on Relaska Thoughts. I don't know if people listen to that or not, but it's hard to tell what's going to blow up in the social media sphere. And so, we kind of talked about this Not a Soul Can Clock segment, and that just blew up on social media, which at first Monica was really traumatized by and threatened to quit social media. Luckily, some queens must have gotten a hold of her and talked to her or something, and then she leaned into it and started selling merch with it and whatnot. But what were your thoughts on that number sort of going viral?
I think I can see where Monica could take it that way. I mean, we talked about how not great it was, but that also kind of, Lucy LaDuca with the Let Loose song last season. I mean, she took that all the way to the bank, and that's not a great song either. So yeah, if you're getting, that's one of those situations in which no press is bad press as far as that sort of thing goes, especially when you've got everybody talking about it and there's a chance you can make some money off of it. And I think that good for her. I agree with you. She was much more enjoyable to watch when the strain of trying to compete kind of got off of her shoulders. She was more relaxed.
Speaking of Mrs. Kasha Davis, she was the first one to win some money. And the note read that she had won $1,000 and she could give it to one other queen. And she gave it to Monica Beverly Hills, which I thought was so nice. Mrs. Kasha Davis is such a treasure. She's so nice.
She is. There's always room for kindness. I thought she was going to give it to Darian, though, because they're such good friends.
I did, too, because they were friends. Yeah, I thought so, too. It was really, really weird, especially about how nasty she was last week. People were commenting that they didn't pay attention to all her reads during the show, and they were surprised when I played them back. To her reads, yeah. I didn't even play them all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they were some really nasty reads that she came up with. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That one about Joyce DeWitt. I mean, I've still woken up in a cold sweat thinking about that one. Just like, how did she say that?
I know, especially since no one who knows who Joyce DeWitt is since 1997 or something like that.
That's being very generous to Joyce DeWitt, thinking that people remember she is in 1997.
I know. I was really being treasured. Yeah. I have one right here. Hold on.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Maxine Waters. It's Mrs. Kasha Davis. Anyway, why is your name Maxine Waters? Because your pussy is very dry. Okay, she is a sitting congresswoman. She's everyone's auntie. I'll see if I can find the Joyce DeWitt one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of burned away Joyce DeWitt by saying no one knew who she was in 1997.
Yeah. Including Joyce DeWitt. Joyce DeWitt doesn't know who Joyce DeWitt is.
Yeah. This Naisha, what a fucking tryhard she is. She's always trying to get screen time and try so fucking hard. I'm so glad this James turned it around on her.
Yeah. That made me like James a little more. Just how quick she came up with that.
Well, yeah. Well, James has that Mexican cuntiness that they're good at that. People don't realize that as everyone's forefathers are picking strawberries, that we're all thinking of cunty things to say to you behind your back. All right, well, let's go on. Okay, so then they go to the main stage. Oh, wait, did you have anything about this about the Elimination Day?
About Elimination Day?
Choreography?
Oh, what did you think of the choreographer? I know that he's been on before, but what were your thoughts about him?
I thought he was good. You didn't like him?
Okay. I thought he was like Todrick Light a couple of times.
Oh, no, not at all. Why did you think that?
Yeah. No, that's why I said light.
We don't have time for racist jokes here, okay? This is why this is your last season. Who do you think you are, Lori in 2006?
I was the opening act for Lori in 2006. The truth has finally come out.
I know. It wasn't even an original act. All he did was he performed as Mickey Rooney from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and people were really offended.
Right. I thought that there was a couple of times that he said things that I could see Todrick saying, particularly of where he was just like, well, you're not looking at me. When he was like, I don't understand the dance moves. He goes, well, that's because you're not looking at me.
Oh.
I thought was a little bitchy. And then he said something another time that I thought was not the nicest.
We see, but I think the difference is he was playful. I'll tell you why. Because when he was talking to Jimbo, he said, I know you can't dance, but we're here to make you look good. He basically gave her a pep talk.
Okay.
It didn't work, but he gave her a pep talk. He wasn't there to be like, and then he didn't do one of those cutaways where it's like an interview with him later. He's like, Jimbo is an idiot. And you're like, okay, well, sorry, Todrick Hall. Then not everyone can be. You know what? Let me tell you something. My nieces love this fucking Taylor Swift. They just love Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift can do no wrong. They love her.
Right.
And the other day, I was at their house and they were doing some sort of craft. I don't remember what they were doing. And in the background, they just had like some sort of 24-hour Taylor Swift music video channel on or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I would glance over and this fucking Todrick Hall would be dancing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to vomit in front of my nieces. They didn't even know that. I didn't tell them. I didn't want to start a rant in front of them because I know they like this Taylor Swift. But I'll be honest with you. The fact that she's friends with him has made me think less of her.
Mm. Okay.
Also, the fact that she used to do that stupid thing at award shows where she always pretended like she was shocked when she won an award. She stopped doing it, but remember she used to do that?
Yeah. Wasn't that the whole thing when Kristen Wiig used to play her on Saturday Night Live? She would just do that where she would have the surprised face all the time.
I don't remember Kristen Wiig doing her, so I have to go look at that. But I was too busy reading my book about The View. But, it's... I don't even know what that means, by the way. That joke made no sense.
It doesn't matter. It's a callback.
Yeah.
It's a callback.
It's a callback. It's just no tea, no shade.
No, no tea, no shade.
No tea, no shade. Callback. Joyce the Wit. Too bad John Ritter died, not you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. Mrs. Concha Davis.
Oh,
that was awful. What is wrong with her? But she's so nice to Monica Beverly Hillz.
I know.
I don't know why she's saying these horrible things.
I know.
Poor John Ritter.
I know. Gone too soon. Well,
you know what? He fell too many times on that stupid Three's Company. I'm sure it did a number on him. Okay. Elimination Day. Any thoughts here?
No, that's when they were all just getting ready, you mean? Sitting around and talking?
Yeah.
No, that's standard finale fare of, we've all had such a wonderful time. I'm going to miss this place. I'm going to miss all of you.
They had all the girls there this time.
Right. But it was, so that
made it better.
That made it better because there was more voices and there was more opportunity for, poignant things to say. And there were funny things to say. I think it was James said, I'm blocking you all tomorrow. On my phone.
That was funny.
There were some little funny, happy moments and all of that. It was enjoyable.
By the way, gotta go back to the choreography for a second. I hate this Candy. I hate her. She's like, oh, what are you doing, everybody? And then she did that high pitched voice, and I was like, oh my God, that's even worse than her stupid normal low pitched voice.
When did she do a high pitched voice?
During the choreography session, she went,
oh. Well, she's a screamer. That's just where that's what gets me is that she's constantly like yelling and screaming like a child. So I don't care for her. I don't like her.
Anyway, so they go to the main stage and it's just family, blah 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 blah, and then they cut to this RuPaul. She's doing less and less.
Yes.
She's like a preacher's wife in bed. That's how little she's doing.
They're going to eventually have her in a Hoyer lift, just singing at this point.
She's like doing so little now. Oh, by the way, did you see that little Latino twink dancer? Ugh.
No, I was looking at looking at the one that had a mustache last week, and now he had a 5 o'clock shadow. And one of our listeners sent me a link to his Instagram page. Let me see if I can find it. Lockie Brownlee.
What a horrible name.
Yeah, I think his name is something else, but he is a choreographer, dancer, and he's worked with Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, J-Lo, Britney Spears, Wicked on Broadway, and Broadway Bears. I'd like to see him bear a lot more than he did on this show, but he's very cute.
Yeah, Broadway Bears is actually what you'd want to see. I think it's a fundraiser for AIDS research, and the Broadway dancers are in very skimpy clothes.
Yes, I am quite aware.
All right, so this RuPaul number, ASMR, and also it just seemed like, what do they call when you put in Google search things? Like they were just like, oh, what are the SEOs that teens like? Oh, ASMR?
Right.
Okay, great. Because there was not even any ASMR in this. It's just her singing about an ASMR. I didn't listen
actually,
to the
it was,
anything.
What did the teens like in 2019? That was more like what the teens liked. So I thought it was very dated.
I didn't even listen to the song. I was just looking at the Latino twink and how little RuPaul was doing. Did you have any other thoughts on her number?
No, it was horrible.
All right, let's go to the Maxi Challenge presentation. Jimbo was first with a song called I Remember Being Born. What were your thoughts here with that, Taylor?
It was okay. I thought it was sort of a weak song, but it made sense for Jimbo to have a song like that. I thought that the choreographers were doing a lot, the dancers rather, were doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And if this had been where it was all based on the lip sync, I would have been worried for Jimbo for the crown.
So this is the problem, is this Leland was trying to, how do I put it? Leland should have stayed in his own lane. And I'm going to contrast that with Candy's song. Okay. In that he was trying to be clever and write a clever song that he thought like Jimbo would write. And you know what's so funny is I was just talking about this the other day with Robert, actually, where I was saying that you should never do a snatch game of people who are unpredictable because you can never capture, like in other words, I think Robert was making the point that people who do Liza never really capture the true Liza Minnelli. Mm-hmm. And it's because she's so cracked out that you can't predict it. It's the same way that whoever failed as Tammy Brown recently on Snatch Game, like you can't do Tammy Brown on a Snatch Game because she's so unusual that you would never be able to predict or get on her wavelength. It's, that's probably why people can't do Trisha Paytas, Trisha Paytas, the YouTuber, because she's too random. Like, how would you, it wouldn't ever come across. They're so random, you can't even parody them, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think with Jimbo, that's sort of the mistake Leland was doing, was he was trying to write for what he thought Jimbo would do. And I think a smarter approach probably would have been to write a song that wouldn't have been hard for him, actually, that maybe Jimbo could have had a lot of fun with. So for instance, maybe some sort of Tin Pan Alley or like silly song like that, like a hello my baby, hello my honey, right, hello my ragtime girl, like that. Jimbo would have more fun with that because that gives her more opportunity for clowning. But this song was trying to be like, I remember being born. It was trying to be absurd in a way that she is just didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
Or her.
Yeah.
All right. Candy with Pay Me With Money.
I was actually pretty impressed with Candy with this. I thought that if, again, just like if it was all based on the lip sync, that Candy would have won. If this had been a challenge earlier in the season, Candy would have won if it was just the two of them. I thought that she did really well with the choreography. Her mouth was much more controlled than it often is when she lip syncs. Usually she's just like, how big can I get my mouth kind of thing. And she did really well with the choreography. And I thought that it was the song is better. Like, of the two of them, if I had to download one, I would download that one rather than the I Remember When I Was Born.
So what I would say is this song that Candy had, it was good. And I think the reason you liked it, and they obviously gave the singer this guidance, it sounded like it was written on spec for Lady Gaga.
Okay.
The singer was doing her Lady Gaga isms. It had that sort of driving rhythm that Lady Gaga has. It sounded very much like you were doing, if they were going to do a Night of 1,000 Gagas, that this would be the kind of song they would have in the Rusical about Lady Gaga. It just sounded very inspired by Lady Gaga. It wasn't a bad riff on something she would write, but it felt that way, and that's why I think that's probably why it was a good song. Leland's not bad at that stuff. Leland's not bad at basically parodying popular musical styles. He's actually quite good at that. And so I think this was one of those things, and you just thought it worked for Candy Muse. Then at the end, they did a finale called I'm a Winner, Baby. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Well, again, this goes back to that weird Kahana overacting where she apparently was like, the soloist, but she was just doing this crazy where she was like shaking her head and her mouth was too big. And I don't understand why they gave it to her of everybody that was there. But great. Good for her.
Yeah, to me, it was very standard. Like, that's how they're ending all these things now with a big production number finale, and it was fine.
Yeah.
All right, but then I was actually surprised they did looks. They did a final called Finale Fabulosity, where all the queens walked, and then they introduced the final two. Did you have any? You love the looks, and this is
they do this on the international seasons. I noticed that they bring everybody back for what would have been their grand finale look. The two that really stood out to me that I kind of went, ooh, was I loved Mrs. Kasha Davis's look with the black and white. I thought that was really pretty. And Alexis Michelle's red outfit was the prettiest she has ever looked. I thought that she looked incredible in that. Those of all of the looks, those were my two absolute favorites.
I thought you were going to mention Kahana, which I thought Kahana looked really good.
See, I don't remember what Kahana wore.
Shocking. It wasn't a Vegas showgirl, but it was Vegas showgirl-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Where she revealed not reveal, but she just opened up her cape. I don't know shit, right? And she had on this beautiful, tight-fitting thing.
With the sunflowers? That was very pretty. That was very, very pretty. It wasn't like my absolute favorite, though. When the other two that I talked about, Kasha and Alexis, theirs were glamour. That to me that was the epitome of just a beautiful, beautiful drag. I also thought James's was, as a Vegas showgirl, was actually kind of fun. It was campy enough that it was still James, but it was still very pretty. So,
well, when you do Vegas showgirl one time, it's very pretty. When you do it every week, Kahana, then you're like, okay, what else do we got?
Right.
All right, back on the main stage, all the judges heap praise on Jimbo and Candy. Later, Lala Ree is named the winner of the Fame Games before the final two girls are called back to the main stage. Rue announces that before she can name a winner, the two must battle it out in a final lip sync for the crown. The song, Do You Wanna Funk by Sylvester and Patrick Crowley. In the end, Jimbo is named the winner of All-Star Season 8 and is formally inducted into the Drag Race Hall of Fame. Taylor the Latte Boy, any final thoughts on the episode, on the season? Do you have any comments on the winner of the Fame Games? Give us it all. Give it all to us.
So, what are your thoughts about Lala Ree winning the Fame Games?
It's complicated.
Yeah.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
And I'm happy she won.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was another one of those drag race things where it was like, well, what was the fucking point?
Yeah.
Because, we don't know what the real votes were. We will never know what the real votes were. And so there wasn't really the Fame Game. It really was ultimately RuPaul and the show are going to decide who the winner is.
Yeah. I wonder, I haven't seen anything online yet as far as there was blowback to that or anything. But I think also part of that is because Lala seems to be genuinely beloved amongst Drag Race fans, but I don't see how they can go about doing that. If they're going to keep doing the Fame Games every year for All-Stars, I can't see how they could do something like that ongoing, because it really is. So if the number one person got 29,000 votes, we'll say, and Lala only got 10, that means that she still wins. She gets bumped all the way to the top, because it just doesn't seem. I think that they should do something where there's top two winners and they get something, but multiplying their votes, I don't think is fair.
Yes, I agree. But I think they do it to prevent any kind of shenanigans on somebody. So they can basically pick their top two who they think should win the Fame Games. And then, because remember, like, there were people like Mimi and First, remember, being accused of rigging the online vote. Same thing with, I think that was the same thing with the story with Penetration. I think that's why they stopped doing the online fan vote for who would be the contestant, was because of questions of riggery, you know? And so, actually with Valentina, when she won Miss Congeniality, and they had to switch the voting. So I think that they're sensitive to that, but still, it just seems, don't sell it as that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you know, Mimi I'm First came in number 3 in the polling. I could not believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. I know, but don't attack her fans, bitch.
Well, from what I can tell, she doesn't have any.
Oh. Anyway, okay. Any other final thoughts on the episode there, Taylor?
Just trying to think real fast. No, did you watch the live viewing of The Crowning with Candy and Jimbo, watching to see who won?
I saw a clip, but I was like, those things actually make me cringe, to be honest with you, because I feel so bad for the person who has to pretend that they're excited.
I did, as much as we have definitely trashed Candy this season, I did feel bad for her, because she was, when you watch it, Jimbo clearly knows she's going to win, and Candy clearly knows she's going to lose. And just Jimbo is like doing this weird breathing thing, and then does this weird like maniacal laugh, and it's very creepy to watch. It's very kind of hard to watch. So yeah, it's, if you enjoy that kind of thing, then go and watch it, but I don't ever need to see it again.
No, I just cringe really hard. It makes me, I don't know. I don't really like it. All right. Well, this is, I actually don't know, like, I really don't know what the future of formal recaps are here for the rest of the year. Like, are we going to do, guys, maybe there's going to be a full-on Drag Race Down Under. Maybe there'll be a formal full-on Drag Race UK. I don't know. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Well, that's going to do it for this season of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 8. Be sure to join us next season and every season as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. So, for Taylor the Latte Boy and myself,
sashay away until next season.
Thank you for listening to Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can also email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can also watch video versions of the show and more over at youtube.com/dragracerecap. This podcast was produced by Luke Stamen. Taylor the Latte Boy has another podcast. It's called Pod is My Co-Pilot, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow Taylor on Instagram at PIMCTaylor. Follow Joe Betance on Instagram and TikTok at Joe Betance. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: Alex S., Anonymous, April Pacheco, Astute Girl, Brad Coley, Carter McKinnon, Corinna Williamson, Doofus Maximus, E. Smith, Elizabeth Timmer, Emma, Humble Pie, J. Thomas Plank, Jesse Harris, Kathy Zender, Lauren Eckert, Lucy Carrasco, Luke Stamen, Mike Yeager, Nikki Baker, Poppy Woods, Ricardo Herrera, Robert NYC, Robin Eganberger, Runner Brandon, Sarah Yu, Tom Bombs, Travi Cosmos, Troy Anderson, Zach Nelson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.